Good evening to you all and welcome to IQ. This IQ has nothing to do with the clinical measurement of intelligence. IQ is simply India quiz. A quiz on India in the 20th century.
Yes, 90 years in the life of a subcontinent, a good time to flick through pages of history of the past. It's also the year of the Nehru centenary. It's also late 89, and in a few months we'll be at the turn of the century. A good time to take stock.
And to help us do this, we've invited 96 young Indians of the post-independence generation who will be cruising along with us for the next 23 weeks. The tour is as much a game as it is a quiz. We're not looking for that uncertainty. Here at IQ, we're more into the fun of just finding out.
So if everyone's set, let's go straight into our first round, headlines.
In headlines, the opening section of the quiz, we'll be asking you 8 questions about famous personalities, shaping institutions, and landmark dates. Now, each of these questions come with a set of 4 possible answers, out of which you have to pick the correct one. These choices are there to help you make a good informed guess if you don't have the answer pat already. Now, there are no negative marking in this section, so speculation is for free.
We'll start with a question on the origins of the national flag. Ever since the French Revolution in 1789, the tricolour has become symbolic of a free nation. Decades before we actually became independent, patriotic Indians were designing alternatives to the colonial Union Jack. The flag was a powerful way of focusing anti-colonial feeling. It was also an emblem of a nation waiting to be born.
And with that, we're going to ask you your first question. Now, the Indian tricolour didn't always look like the flag we have today. I want you to look at this colourful pennant coming up now. Now, this pennant was designed by 2 activists from Bengal, Siddharth Basu and Sukumar Mitra, and it has the distinction of being the first known nationalist flag. This flag was first hoisted in Calcutta, ceremonially, on August 7, 1906 by a pioneering nationalist. You have to name this nationalist from the 4 choices I'm going to give you. Was it Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Madam Bhikaji Cama, or Surendranath Banerjee? Time. Let's see what your answers are. Well, some people have gone for Gopal Krishna Gokhale and others have gone for Madam Bhikaji Cama, but in fact neither of them is correct. The correct answer is Surendranath Banerjee. He was one of the first Indians who successfully entered the Indian civil service through competitive exams. He gave up that prized job to join the nationalist cause, and of course, for his doughty patriotism, he came to be known as Surendranath Banerjee. On to the second question in this section.
Right, Siddharth, this is a question about representative sport on which national identity is built. In 1920, an unofficial team went to the Olympics at Antwerp. Now, in the absence of an association like the Indian Olympic Association, who sponsored the team? Your 4 options: the Maharaja of Patiala, the Jam Sahib of Navanagar, the East Indian Chamber of Commerce, Sir Doordarshan Tata. Well, everyone's taken a go at that, and let's have everyone's options. Rekha got that right. It was Doordarshan Tata, and he underwrote the finances of the entire team.
Okay, all the best with this question. It has to do with science. India celebrates National Science Day on 28th of February. Now, why was this day chosen? 1. It was the foundation date of the Indian Institute of Science. 2. It was the date of the peaceful nuclear explosion at Pokhran. 3. It was the date of the discovery of the Raman effect. 4. It was the date on which Chandrasekhar limit was formulated. Right? Let's see what your choices are. Well, most people seem to have got it right. Yes, it was the date on which the Raman effect was discovered, and so Swaraj has picked up their first point. Good going indeed. We're on to the 4th question now.
Yes, right. Everyone take a good look now at our monitors. You're going to be shown a set of 3 headlines from contemporary newspapers, and you will have to tell us the year these events occurred in. So did these landmark events come to pass in, your options are 1931, 1934, 1937, 1939. Let's have your answers, everyone. That's right, everyone's got that correct. It was the year 1931, and in fact it's worth remembering that it was also a year that sound came to movies. Before that, Hindi films didn't have songs.
Fancy that, Kavita. There was a time like that. In any case, we are on to the fifth question in this section now. It's to do with foreign policy. Independent India's relationship with the rest of the world can best be summarized in one phrase: non-alignment. Now the question is, who was it who first outlined this concept of non-alignment? Was it Joseph Broz Tito, Krishna Menon, Jawaharlal Nehru, or Abdel Gamal Nasser? Only the Surajis have gone for their choices, and I find only Krishan's got it right. It's choice number 3, Jawaharlal Nehru. He first outlined the elements that went up to make up this policy in a radio speech on 7 September 1946 in a broadcast to the nation. And so Surajis, in particular Krishan, pick up 10 points over there.
Yes, Siddharth, with both teams at 70, this is really getting exciting. Let's take a shot at this next question. Now, since independence, India has entered into armed conflict with a European country on one occasion only. You have to name the country. Your 4 options: France, England, Portugal, Holland. Let's have your answers. Everyone's got that right. It was indeed Portugal.
Yeah, that encounter with the Portuguese, of course, was over the liberation of Goa in 1961. Your 7th question. Once again, it's a visual question. You have 3 headlines, 3 milestone events. You have to read the clues buried in the headlines and tell us the year in which they happened. Now, those clues all belong to one of these 4 dates: 1965, 1969, 1971, or 1973. Everybody's gone for their choices already. Let's have the answers. Well, everybody's got it right. The correct answer is, in fact, 1969. As if all these events weren't enough, 1969 was the year in which the Congress split for the first time since independence. It was the year Dr. Zakir Hussain died, and the year V.V. Giri was sworn in as President of India.
It's been long recognized that in a country as large as ours, we need an educational system that can transcend classroom teaching and make learning more accessible in other ways. Therefore, the need for open universities. You have to tell us, in which city is India's first open university located? Your 4 options: Delhi, Shantiniketan, Nagarjun Sagar, Banaras. No one got that right, unfortunately. Well, some thought it was Delhi, some thought it was Shantiniketan, but we'd asked for the city where the first snapshots. In this section, we give you a set of 4 clues, 4 snapshots which show different angles, different facets, and each clue taken one by one helps you identify the subject in question. Needless to say, the fewer clues you ask for, the more points you get.
Right, Kumar. And the first question in our snapshot section goes to Sanjay Dasgupta of the Swadeshis. You have to name this eminent Indian vocalist. Here's your first clue. Born in Lucknow in 1914, she studied under Ustad Ata Muhammad Khan and gave her first public performance in Calcutta in 1934 in aid of the Bihar Earthquake Relief Fund. That's right. 40 points for the Swadeshis. Very good going indeed. Yes, that's right. It's Begum Akhtar, also known as the Ghazal Queen of the country. Very good going, Sanjay. You picked up a lot of points for your team. Next question.
Yes, and here's a snapshot for you, Ramesh. If you're ready, here's your first clue. Name this political leader. In 1937, he was elected to the Madras Legislative Assembly. He went on to become a member of the Constituent Assembly of India and the Chief Minister of Madras State in 1954. Time's up, I'm afraid. The question passes to the Swadesh team.
Swadeshis, we want another clue? This person we're talking about introduced a free midday meal scheme for school children in what was then Madras State.
Bhaktavatsala.
No, I'm afraid it's not Bhaktavatsala. In any case, Ramesh ventured the same answer. The question passes back to the Swarajis, and this time it goes to Kavita Krishnamurthy. Do you want another clue?
Yes, can I have another clue?
Yes, here's your clue. The Bharat Ratna was conferred on him posthumously in 1976.
It's N.G. Ramachandran.
That's not right, I'm afraid. It passes back to the Swadesh team.
Okay, Raman. I think you'll get it on this one. It's the last of the 4 clues. Here's your clue. Do you want another clue?
Yes.
Here it is. As part of a plan formulated by and named after him, prominent Congress leaders offered their resignations from executive posts to strengthen the Congress organization at the grassroots level. This was in 1963, the year he became Congress president.
Kamaraj.
That's right, absolutely. It was Maharashtra Kamaraj. And so Raman picks up 10 points for the Sudeshis for getting that right. We are on to the third question in this section.
And here's your snapshot, Rekha. Name this hockey player. Born in 1906 in Allahabad, he joined the Indian Army as a sepoy and began playing hockey at the age of 17. Time up.
Janssen.
Well, I think we'll give it to you because you got it just in the nick of time. Just when the timer went to 0, it was Janssen in fact.
This one's for Kavita. You have to name this mathematician. Here's your first clue. He had no university education in any subject.
Ramanujan?
You're absolutely right, Kavita. Yes, it was the maverick mathematician S. Ramanujan, who at one time was a clerk in the Madras Port Trust, and who went on to become the first Indian in this century to become a fellow of the Royal Society. So, 40 good points for the Swarajis pick up by Kavita on that one. We're on to the next question.
Yes, and Raman, here's a snapshot for you and your first clue. Name this political figure. He was Vice President of India between 1967 and 1969. You have 2 seconds to go, and time's out, I'm afraid. It passes to the next team.
It goes to Krishan.
V.V. Giri.
Yes, you're right. That's the correct answer. 35 points for the Swarajis for getting that right. Yes, it was V.V. Giri who went on to become the 4th President of the Indian Republic in 1969. Good going, Krishan. You picked up 35 good points for your team. We are on to the 6th question in this round, and this one is addressed in particular to Krishan Paul. Here's your question. You have to identify the state. The first clue. Before 1965, this state was headed by a person designated Sadr-e-Riyasat.
Jammu and Kashmir.
Absolutely right. 40 points for your team. Very good going indeed. That's right. It's a state of Jammu and Kashmir. You didn't need any further clues on that. Very good going indeed. And that brings us to the end of the first section of snapshots, in which we find the Swadeshis with 220 and the Swarajis with 245.
And here now are snapshots with a difference. You now have to answer 3 questions with 3 clues each, but all in 45 seconds.
In other words, things get somewhat hectic here, so you have to look sharp but stay cool. The first set of 3 questions with 3 clues each goes to the Swadeshis. If you're ready, we'll start your time now. Name this South Indian film personality. He has acted in nearly 300 films, including Bhoo Kailas and Maya Bazaar.
2.
He founded a new political party in March 1982, which came to power in his state in 1983 with him as Chief Minister.
Shivaji Ganeshan.
No, NTR.
NTR is correct. Identify this university. It was founded by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya.
Benares Hindu University.
Correct. Name this state. It was the last autonomous territory or protectorate to integrate with the Indian Union.
Goa.
Wrong.
Hyderabad.
Wrong.
Kashmir.
Wrong. Clue. Kanchenjunga, the world's 3rd highest peak, is situated in this state. You made it. You set Sikkim within your 45 seconds. I'm going to give that one to you. Well done. You picked up your points over there.
Swarajis, now, if you're ready, here are your snapshots, and your time starts now. Name the star dancer. She runs a well-known dance academy in Madras called Natyalaya.
Is it Vajantimala?
Right. Identify this university. It was founded in Bengal in 1921 as a center for universalist education.
Second clue.
It was made a central university by an act of parliament in 1951.
Shanti Niketan?
Wrong.
Number 2.
It was founded at Shanti-Niketan by Rabindranath Tagore. That's right. Named this Indian sportsman, he was the first Indian to be given the Fair Play Trophy in 1980 by the International Fair Play Committee. Did you understand? Wrong.
Number 2.
He won the inaugural World Open Badminton Championship in 1979. Good. Right.
So the Swarajis wind up at the end of that with 305 points. They are now 15 points ahead of the Swadeshis. This is a seesaw contest going on over here. I'm looking forward to what happens in the last section in this round of IQ Mosaic.
Mosaic, as the name suggests, has to do with a range of subjects of India in the 20th century. In this section, the questions are crisp and short, and remember, wrong answers could lose you vital points. But nothing ventured, nothing won.
We have 8 questions for you in this section. Get your hands on those buzzers, but hit those buzzers with discretion, because if you get it wrong, remember, you lose many points. Here's your first question. Each question, remember, is open to both the teams. We start with a then and now question on the Indian police. The Crown Representatives Police was raised in 1939. By what name is it presently known? We have somebody predictably on the buzzer. My monitor says it's Dr. Paul. Do you have the answer?
Central Reserve Police Force.
Absolutely. 20 points for the Swarajis for getting it right. We are on to the next clue now.
And your next question's a visual one. Here's a short clip from a film featuring a child artist. You have to name him. It's Rekha. Yes, Rekha, let's have your answer. Salim. No, that's wrong. And next on the buzzer, Dr. Paul.
Shafiq.
Yes, we'll give that to you. The full name is Shafiq Syed, the child artist from Salam Bombay, from Meera Nair's film, and he won the Best Child Actor Award for 1988, the National Award.
Right, move on to the third question in this section now. It's to do with public health and medicine. Hands by those buzzers. You have to name the killer disease that was finally declared eradicated in India in July 1975. It's Ramesh. Do you have the answer?
Smallpox.
Smallpox is correct, and so you could pick up another 20 points for the Swarajis. And now we move on to the next question. Komal.
Which proposed hydel project was withdrawn in 1983 in the wake of strong protests from conservationists concerned to preserve India's last remaining tropical rainforest? Let's see who it is. Yes, it's Rekha. Rekha, let's have your answer.
Silent Valley.
That's right. You've just picked up points for your team, and this takes us on to this next question. Siddharth.
Right. Fifth question in this section now. The colonial government of 1939 made India a party to the war against the Axis powers without consulting Indian political leaders or public opinion. But in 1943, an unofficial and unrecognized Indian provisional government declared war on both the USA and Great Britain. Your question is, it begins now, by what name was this provisional government better known? Any takers? Yes, we have somebody. It's Dr. Paul.
Netaji Subhash. It was the provisional government of the Indian National Army in Singapore.
You'll have to give me the exact name for me to be able to give you points for that.
For some time it functioned from Andamans.
Sorry, I'll have to take away marks from you for that one. The question passes. It goes to Rekha.
Indian Socialist Republic.
Wrong. The question passes once again. Do you have anybody else down the line? No. Well, the correct answer, and that's the answer we needed, is the Azad Hind government, which was led by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose.
Here's our next question. It's also a visual clip. It's a clip from a landmark film from Karnataka, first screened in 1970.
Ayo Papa, ile kutidiya? Maruti.
It's Ramesh.
You want the name of the film?
That's right.
That's right.
Samskara.
Yes, Ramesh, that's absolutely right. Samskara, and that's the film in which Girish Karnad made his debut as an actor.
Well, we move on to the seventh question. In the course of the 20th century, India's railway network has expanded to become one of the largest in the world. India's longest distance train is called the Himsagar Express. My question is, between which two extreme points does the Himsagar Express run? We have somebody on the buzzer already. Let's find out who it is. It's Krishan.
I think it's between Jammu and Trivandrum.
Wrong. The question passes. We don't have anybody here either. Krishan, to get points for the answer, you had to get both the points, and one of them was right. It was Jammu Tawi. The other point was Kanyakumari. In any way, you lost some points for that, but we are on to the last question in this round of Mosaic.
Here it is, so take a go at it, everyone. Which national award was instituted by the government of India in 1985 to honor sports coaches? We've already got people on the buzzer, and Krishan, yes?
The Dronacharya Award.
Absolutely right. The winning team this evening, the Swarajis, with Dr. K.K. Paul, Kavita Krishnamurthy, and Ramesh Sharma.
And in remembrance of this round of IQ, we'd like for you to take home silk-bound volumes of Jawaharlal Nehru's thoughts and special IQ gift presentation sets.
Now, what you have to work out within the week is this question. When, in the annals of Indian radio, and I didn't say official radio, was the word Akashvani first used, and when?